Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for coming in to our 10th grade English class. I'm so happy to see you all today. And we're going to take a journey through figurative language and discuss similes. So just a moment while I share my screen. So as a separate note, please mute your mic when you are not speaking so that we can better understand you. We can hear one voice at a time. Please turn your camera on if possible. I'd love to see your faces, but of course, that is optional. All right, so let's do a quick check-in. Using the chat, please let me know, how are you feeling today? Which baby Yoda are you? Are you entranced? Are you excited? I think I'm chill, as shown in my meditative Bitmoji. How are you feeling today? Entranced. Beautiful. Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Feel free to also let me know, check in throughout our discussion today, but I'm so glad to hear that. So this is our agenda. First is our check-in. We already accomplished something today. Now we're going to talk about our objectives and standards, then similes, a definition, similes in popular culture and hip hop. Why is it important to study similes? We'll be discussing that. And similes in poetry, an examination of Harlem by Langston Hughes. So these are our objectives today. From today's lesson, students will be able to define similes, identify similes, interpret and create similes. So these are the things that we'd like to accomplish today. This is a brief overview of today's lesson standards. So in reading and literature, we're going to be focusing on craft and structure, the structure of language, of English. And we'll be determining the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in the text, including figurative and connotative meanings. So definition, what is a simile? A simile is a noun. It's a figure of speech involving the comparison of one thing with another of a different kind. So one thing of another of a different kind, used to make a description more emphatic or vivid, using like or as in the description. So would anyone like to read one of the examples of a simile for me, please?
Sure, I can read one.
Okay.
Can I choose any one that I want?
Yes, you can choose any example you'd like.
Okay, I like your writing shines bright like a diamond. That's cool.
Beautiful, excellent. I was channeling Rihanna with that simile. But yes, your writing shines bright like a diamond. Excellent. Thank you so much. So some other ones that we see here are, you are as brave as a lion, and you're very brave, Lupe, for speaking in front of class. Thank you so much. That experiment worked like a dream. I am as happy as a clam. They fought like cats and dogs. If any of you have pets, you may relate to that. And I am as free as a bird. So why do we use similes? Can anyone take a guess? Why do we use similes?
Well, my mom always talks about me and my brother fighting like cats and dogs. So when she says that, I think she means like we don't get along very well. But it makes more sense when she says it like that, like cats and dogs. Like it makes sense what she's saying. Like it just seems like a bad fight. Worse than if she were just to say, you know, you two fight too much or something like that.
Excellent. Very good, Lupe. And thank you so much for sharing that personal example. Yes, similes are used to make things more descriptive. So it's like when your mom is talking about fighting like cats and dogs, it's like you can relate to it because you can see the animals or imagine the animals fighting. And like you said, having a bad fight. So that's right. So we're going to hear similes and pop culture and music. Chat question, what similes have you heard in music?
Tension between us just like picket fences. Cause it get cold like Minnesota, cold like Minnesota, cold like Minnesota, cold like Minnesota. I buy Ferraris like Jordans. I'm Mike and y'all Pip. I like to rock it on this fit. I'm camoed all out like I'm in the military. Yeah, that way. Float on the track like a Segway. Soprano C, we like to keep it on the high note. Always on like the refrigerator unplugged in.
All right, so here's some songs that may be familiar to you. And in the chat, can you let me know, what similes have you heard in music? Have you heard of any in music? Take a moment.
Miss, yeah, I know I've heard lots of similes because I know when I hear songs, a lot of times I think about that, but I can't think of too many right now. But I know my mom, she listens to Nora Jones. And I was just thinking of one that we were actually talking about, a lyric. And it's like, I think the song's about a woman who's brokenhearted. And one of the lyrics says, dark like the shady corner inside a violin.
Beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah, and I just right now, just hearing this, it was making me think of that because we were actually tripping out on that lyric before and saying, like, what does that even mean? So that's why it came to my mind right now.
Wow, that is such a gorgeous example, Lupe. Thank you so much. Dark like the corners of a violin. Wow, and it just makes me use my imagination and the shape of a violin and how inside is like a shadow, but all this music comes out. Very good. Excellent. So back to our question, why similes? Well, similes help us compare the known with the unknown. So when Lil Yachty in one of the clips we heard says cold like Minnesota, well, we've all felt cold before in some way. But when he describes it like Minnesota, it conjures to my mind a frozen tundra, a place where if you look on TikTok videos, people throw boiling water outside and then it freezes on impact as soon as it hits the air. So it's a way for us to communicate and compare the known, with the unknown so we can communicate our thoughts and feel more understood. Similes help us also describe situations with more depth and clarity. So in the example that you gave, dark corners of a violin helps us get a better understanding of the darkness, the shadow that exists inside of a musical instrument, even if we've experienced darkness before. And similes can take the reader or listener on a journey to the place or feeling of the author. So our emotion, attention, distances like picket fences. So even though in that song, that Drake song, picket fence is often used to conjure or make us think of things that are ideal, it's still compared to attention. So it can take us on a journey. And in Lil Yachty's instance, a literal journey to Minnesota. Do you have any questions? No?
No,
Okay.
miss.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so this is a rap, a simile rap that Miss Wallace wrote. I'll put y'all here, inspired by the song Energy by Drake. Okay, so hopefully this helps you remember similes better. I got a simile. I got a lot of similes. I use like and as when comparing things. I got a simile. I got a lot of similes. I use like and as when comparing things. City run deep as an oak tree, wildflowers colorful like diversity. Fields bright as the sun sports shades the sea, possibilities expand like infinity. I got a simile, I got a lot of similes. I use like and as when comparing things. I got a simile, I got a lot of similes. I use like and as when comparing things. All right, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank
That
you.
was so good, Miss.
Thank you so much, Lupe. I really appreciate that. Be a little vulnerable for you all, but I'm hoping that by using this example, you'll be able to remember when test time comes, when you think about it, you hear the music, that a simile is when you use like and as when you're comparing things. Okay? Thank you so much. Oh, here we go. All right, so let's get into the meat of our discussion today. We're going to be reading Harlem by Langston Hughes, and I'd like for you to answer some of the questions to the right. So, who would like to get us started?
What did you need, Miss?
Okay, so the poem Harlem by Langston Hughes. Lupe, can you please read the first line?
What happens to a dream deferred?
Yes, excellent. I'll continue. Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? Okay, so we're going to just marinate in that poem. All right. Thank you so much, Lupe, for getting us started with that. So we already started with step one. Read the poem critically and answer the questions below. Remember to support your opinions with evidence from the text. So let's move on to step two. Defer means to put off or postpone. What do you think Hughes means when he writes a dream deferred?
Maybe to not do your dream.
Exactly. Yes, Lupe. To not do your dream, to put your dream off, to put it to the side, to kick it down. So let's identify the 5 similes in the poem. Do you see a simile in the poem, Lupe?
You said like or as, so maybe oh, there's a lot. Um, does it dry up like a raisin in the sun?
Yes, exactly, exactly. Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? So there's 5 of them that are in the poem, but I'd like for us to skip down to step 4 and pick one simile and explain what it means. What do you think it means? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun?
Mm, um, maybe like when I think of a raisin, it's like it's good. It's like kind of sweet, but it's all wrinkly, and it's like no longer like a plump fresh fruit anymore.
Yes, that's exactly right. Like when you think of a grape, just as what you were saying, Lupe, it's plump, it's fresh, and then when it dries up in the sun, it becomes all like wrinkled, kind of like the moisture gets sucked out of it. Um, and when I think of like the next poem, so or the next simile that I see, or fester like a sore and then run, when we think about dreams and we put off our dreams, and festering is when you're like thinking about something a lot and it really bothers you. And so when you put off your dreams, they can fester. Like you just keep thinking about it, and then it's like a sore, and then it flakes off and goes away, and you just forget about your dream. So those are just two ways of thinking about it and two similes that we've examined. We can continue with the note catcher, and I'll put that in the chat as well, so that you can continue by, excuse me. So that we can continue with the note catcher assignment for homework. But I wanted to go over these things first with you. So also write a simile about your dreams. Now, we may not have time to do that today, but I wanted to at least get you started and answer some of your questions. So here's some examples about similes that may be about your dreams. So my dreams are like a cloud in the sky. My future is as bright as the sun. Or I want to heal like a nurse and dunk like LeBron. So maybe those aren't your specific dreams, but it's open to interpretation. It could be dreams when you're sleeping, or dreams like your aspirations, things that you'd like to accomplish. So today's reminders as we close out, don't forget to complete your note catcher assignments, similes, and poetry. Please submit your note catcher assignment and Schoology. And lastly, and as always, take care of yourself and appreciate all of your accomplishments. You are awesome, and I'm so glad that you are here with me today. Take care. Have a great day.